Hi there, and welcome to the Seaside Lane channel. I am a wife and mama who lives in the United States in the beautiful, sunshiny state of Florida, and on this channel of Seaside Lane, I hope to encourage you to clean your home and fall more in love with Jesus and to make your heart and your home a haven. So today I am going to clean my entire kitchen and then paint a fun little Bible verse in my Bible at the end about being the salt and the light of the world. Sneakers are going on. That means a lot of cleaning is going to get done. I'd encourage you to prop up your phone or your laptop or on your Alexa screen and clean along with me. Maybe start with laundry or dishes. Today I'm starting in the kitchen. If we haven't met, hi, I am Morgan Lane. I am a wife to a firefighter and I am a mama to 3 little girls who are at school during the day, and that is when I get to clean with you and create these videos. I had started by just collecting all the breakfast dishes from around the counter and the table and putting away the clean ones from last night. So I really just want to talk about Jesus because that is what makes me happy, and I always love to watch cleaning videos. I love to watch different sermons. I love to just kind of keep my mind engaged and involved while I'm cleaning, and that is when the Lord gave me the idea to create a channel that can do both in one, that can encourage mamas' hearts to be stirred and pointed towards the Lord, but to also kind of motivate you to get some of your mom chores done in the process of that. So the verse I will paint at the end of this video, I do like to paint in my Bible. I am an artist and an author of a little prayer devo called Bride Behind the Boots. So I do love to paint. So I painted in my Bible, and the verse in the section that I wanted to share with you while I unload the dishes and start scrubbing is from Matthew 5. And it's about being salt and light. Verse 13 says, "You are the salt of the earth. But if salt has lost its taste, how shall its saltiness be restored? It's no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled under people's feet." Verse 14 says, "You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. Nor do people light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a stand, and it gives light to all in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, so that they may see your good works and give glory to the Father who is in heaven." So I have been reading through the book of Matthew this entire month. So I had read this, and then the following Sunday, our preacher actually preached on this section about being the salt and being the light, and I loved it. I will share more points as I paint and talk about it more at the end. And then my daughters actually gave me the idea of what to paint today with the little salt shaker and a light bulb, and they always talk about Mama, like we sing this little light of mine every single night, so they gave me some ideas for my painting as well. So when you're doing dishes and you have a family, obviously one thing leads to another. It's like the mouse a cookie song. Like you give a mouse a cookie, they're gonna ask for milk, and then they need this, and then they need that. So I was clearing off the table and disinfecting the top of it, and then I noticed the entire side of the table with your beautiful view here is covered in pencil and crayon, and I'm pretty sure that is ketchup in the bottom right. So you give a mom a task to do, like do the dishes, then you have to clear the table, then you have to disinfect the table, then you notice the side of the table is covered in ketchup. So we will take care of that too. And so moms, check the sides of your tables. A magic eraser can always get everything off, and that is how we always clean our white table, which is amazing because we do a lot of painting crafts. So I'd encourage you to do that one thing in the area of your house that you're in right now that has been driving you crazy, scrubbing something off the wall, something that's been stuck. If you I literally squished like a fruit fly on the wall once, and I left it. Oh, it wasn't a fruit fly, it was a centipede. So last week I squished a centipede with my sandal, and I left him there for like 4 days. They're about to give him a name because he had been on the wall so long. So right now, do that one thing that comes to your mind. That is I would need to do this. It's so simple, it'll take 2 seconds. Another episode of Will This Come Off My Furniture? More red paint. In one of my last videos, we had red paint all over the wall tiles in the bathroom, and now we have it all over our chair. So, constantly cleaning, but so it did come off. Everything comes off with the magic eraser. It is a tradition in our house to paint the little wooden home decor things, and everybody in the family gets to do one. So 3 of us were home this weekend and got to paint our fall leaves, and then the other 2 were going to paint theirs after school today. Dad and one of our other girls have gone. These were last year's, and so that was what all the red paint was from. So start scrubbing your dishes if you have not already started, and if you are like the Seaside Lane channel or any of these videos, even if your hands are wet and sudsy, use that pinky finger to give this video a like or comment below what you accomplished while watching this, because it encourages me, y'all. When I put up one of these videos and I like go back and check and somebody's like, I cleaned out this or I did that, or they give the thumbs up, it makes my day and it encourages me as well. So it goes both ways. So keep scrubbing and let's talk about salt. So salt is one of those things that it can balance the electrolytes and the fluids in your body and like hydration. I remember after running long amount of miles in a season when I was running a lot, that I would have to like make a cup of tea and I would squeeze in a lemon and I would add a dash of salt because my body just like needed that to hydrate. And salt also carries nutrients to our cells. It regulates acids in our body. It transfers nerve impulses. It can help regulate your blood pressure. And so many things, like the importance of salt is something I was thinking about when I was reading this, because the whole first section is all about you are the salt of the earth. And when you think about all the benefits of salt, they're just kind of endless. But also that too much salt can be disgusting. Like in a recipe of cookies and you put in way too much salt or a lot of salt, like table salt, and there's different types of salt. Once you've had a fancier salt, like a sea salt or a Himalayan salt, it's like you don't want to go back and eat the table salt. So just the wide range of salts is something that I was pondering and thinking about as I was reading this section. And not just salt within our bodies, but like salt, like I said, the different types of fancy salt that can add flavor and preserve your food. And I was just thinking about that first in my household. So whenever I clean my kitchen, I kind of like reorganize my fruit. So that's what I'm doing here. I condense, I combine, I freeze. If the tomatoes are looking a little rough and the bananas are a little spotted, I will take them and freeze them and use them for pasta sauce and in smoothies. So that's what I was doing here. But just like the salt, so I was thinking about it. I was like, first I need to go to Jesus, because one, he will, in quiet times, like a daily encounter of worship and reading my Bible and prayer with him, because he will give me the amount of salt that I need for that day. Like he will be like, okay, Morgan, you need a teaspoon for this daughter. You need this for so-and-so, this for so-and-so. And even just for myself, to be sustained and to be joyful in that, just creating a happy and nurturing environment and knowing that he is the recipe and the salt for that. So the same way that salt affects our bodies and flavors and things, it's like Jesus is telling us that we should be affecting our households, our children, our spouses within our walls, but then also just those around us, other human beings, with the joy in life that comes from walking with the Lord daily, and that Christ should affect the way we live and act towards everybody. And that is the salt, so to say. I was doing a kitchen clean, but when I do kitchen clean, I kind of rotate produce and check on the herbs or the onions. These were my onions that had grown way too long, so I get them fresh water and do things like that when I do my kitchen cleaning to keep things alive and well. So I was thinking about the salt, and that she talked about in her sermon the other Sunday about knowing the balance of the salt. And I thought it was really interesting too. She was saying, you don't just like take a handful of salt and like chuck it in somebody's face. That would be kind of rude or kind of offensive. And she was just talking about creating, like, knowing what you're adding, knowing that you love the Lord and that you want other people to have that love for him that you have, but not just to go up into somebody's face and like dump way too much salt of but she was just talking about building relational equity with people, with your family, with your kids, and knowing like a batch of cookies, the right time, the right place, and the right amount to spread his love. Maybe it's just through your actions, baking something, buying them flowers, doing something for somebody, but in time being able to share deeper, share the Lord, share what he's doing in your own life, and being that salt. So that was leftover coffee. I'm not really drinking it, but so I'm finishing up the dishes. But so that was the first part, was about salt. So I don't know, that was a lot of talk about salt. But now we're gonna finish scrubbing the coffee maker and we'll go on to light. Oh, and one last salt thought that I had when I was reading this as well was, I have like preserved food, like making the brine solution where you do the water and you add X amount of salt solution, you add your green beans, your peppers, or whatever, and you ferment it in the salt and how it preserves things. And I was thinking about that. Yay, kitchen's all clean! So we'll have tea time. But that as well, just that salt can, like the salt of the Lord can almost like preserve me and my heart and my character and everything, and just kind of like keep it safe and stable. So now we're going to jump into tea time, and then we'll talk a little more about light. Today I made chai tea because it is fall in Florida, but it is really hot again. And even this outfit of, usually I wear dresses every single day. I'm pretty sure most of my videos are all dresses. But my husband and I are going up north for a cousin's wedding, and so I was testing out my outfits for that. But this is a teacup that I had picked up for my 8-year-old. She asked me, Mama, can I please have my own special teacup? Because she knows I have a few from my grandmothers who have passed, and just my father-in-law gave me a teacup. So teacups are something special to me. And so she was asking as like kind of woman to woman, like, Mom, can you get me my own teacup? And she asked for Christmas, but so it's only fall, it's a bit before then. But I was at the thrift store and I was roaming around and I saw this one and it kind of looked like pink and tropical, flowers on it. And I surprised her and I got it early, not for a Christmas gift. And when I gave it to her, she like freaked out and she was so excited. She actually made her own tea time Bible video, which I can't share on here because she's just too innocent and precious and sweet. But she set up her pumpkins and her candle and her teacup, and she made the most adorable and sweet Bible time video with her teacup. So that was something very special. I like to share about my teacups whenever I have a different one. So now I am going to pour my cup of tea and jump into my Bible, and I want to share with you what the Bible is really quick. It is a journaling Bible, and it's called Interleaved Edition. So that just means there is literally a page for every page of scripture. There is a blank page for notes, for sermons, for prayers, and in my case, art, because I love to paint, and that is a way that I connect with the Lord. So a few people have asked lately, what kind of Bible is this? Why is there so much room to paint? So just look up Interleaved, and I also have a link for a similar one so you can see this type of Bible. So I had already done some art on this page in the book of Matthew recently, but I wanted to put in the salt and the light in this scripture section because the Lord has been teaching me a lot about the salt and light. And so I was going to paint it above this rose that I had painted in the past. I was going to try to put a little salt shaker and a light at the top of it. So every day on our drive to school, we always pray for everybody's day in the car with our kids. And so whether dad's going to the firehouse or we have a laundromat that we're going to clean and take care of, or mom's going to be at home doing all her happy homemaking, we just pray for the day. And so I was praying with the kids and they're like, well, Mom, what are you doing today? And I said, oh, I'm going to paint salt and light. And they're like, okay. And then I explained it in the Bible verse. And so they had all these ideas because I was like, well, what do you think I should paint? And it was so sweet. My oldest is like, well, how about a huge sun with these sun flares and this and that for the light? And then we were talking about how maybe the sun is a lot more like God himself, like the ultimate light and heat source and this and that. So then we're like, maybe we should paint us being the light somehow else, maybe like a candle. And so then my middle daughter, who is 6, said, Mama, I know the light needs to be a light bulb that is the shape of a heart, because our love for other people, it just shines bright. And so I was like, okay, we're going to make a heart light bulb. And my daughter wanted the salt shaker to be like shaking the salt on top of the light bulb, which they were a little disappointed because they ended up being more next to the light bulb instead of on top of it. But we were working with a little bit of room at the top of this page, so that is how it worked out. And then my sweet little preschooler goes, Mama, light reminds me of stars, because she always sings Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star at bedtime. And I was like, light does remind me of stars too, and how they glow in the darkness. And so she asked me if I would so at the end, I penciled in some little stars all around it to show her. So that way, everybody, all 3 of my little ones, would be pleased with the end result of Matthew chapter 5. So now that we have cleaned and chatted about salt, I wanted to talk a little bit about light. And I feel like this is an example they could really grasp, the kids, when we were talking to them about, they understood the salt and we talked about it, but just being the light. And I think as homemakers, sometimes I need to pump myself up to do the cleaning and the whatever else needs to be done, the cooking, to serve my family with love and joy, and that doing that with grace and selflessness like the Lord asks us to do, that can shine light within our own household and within our four walls. And sometimes I think we try to focus on everything and anything out there, but sometimes our heart needs to start within our home, of shining the light and just doing the next right thing to love our families well, but also to shine the light to the world, to the whole world as well. But I think for me, knowing that my home is, I am shining light and loving my own home well, then it allows my heart and mind to relax and be able to expand and to love and share the light outside of my four walls, because I already know that within them, everybody feels so loved and so close to each other in Jesus that it is easier to shine the light to others outside then. Matthew 5:14 says, "You are the light of the world, and a city set on a hill cannot be hidden. Nor do people light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a stand, and it gives light to all in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father who is in heaven." And yeah, giving it back to God, and how we don't hide it. And my kids love this little light of mine, and we sing it every single night. And we love old-fashioned movies where at the end of the night they're by the fire and they're knitting or sewing or eating a snack, and they light that one candle and how it burns and it lights up the room. So I also thought of that as well. That is all today. That is the end of this Salt and Light journey. Thank you for joining me. If you'd like, share this with a friend or a family member. Maybe it could be a good conversation starter about salt and light. If you haven't already, tap that little thumbs up. It lets me know that this kind of video is something that encouraged you. And if you haven't already, and you might want to come along on the Seaside Lane channel, feel free to subscribe and join this fabulous community of Jesus-loving homemakers as well. And you can find me online, and I've loved connecting with so many of you on Facebook and Instagram and my website, and I love when I get encouraging messages from other homemakers and other mamas who want to be the salt and the light to keep shining and making your hearts and homes a haven. Bye friends, I'll see you next time.